Welcome back to the Lars Larson Show. It's a pleasure to be with you on a Wednesday night and celebrating 1 year since that day when Americans made a choice to elect a man to the presidency who'd never held any elective office before. And one of his fans, most of the time, is Ann Coulter, the syndicated columnist and best-selling author of In Trump We Trust, E Pluribus Awesome. But she is honest about the way she evaluates politicians. Ann, how are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you, Lars?
I'm great, and I loved your column in talking about, how the Democrats have this wonderful public face of being very, very pure and noble. And behind the scenes, they're up to all kinds of shenanigans. And if you decide to accuse them of shenanigans, they will come after you, if they possibly can, and try to tear you down.
Yes, and the new technique that came to me that I think everyone missed from that Ronan Farrow article, the latest one, on Harvey Weinstein. He had the most devastating article to begin with. You may recall it was commissioned by NBC. But they refused to print it. It really is one of the most stunning things about the story is, number one, as I say in the column, usually you need a gang to commit that many rapes and sexual assaults. Secondly, which I think has gone completely unnoticed, is just what an incredibly handsome man Harvey Weinstein is. And third, that this technique the left has of doing their sleaze merchantry behind the aegis of a law firm. Mm-hmm. This is something new. As you know, I started writing books with Bill Clinton, the impeachment of Bill Clinton, high crimes and misdemeanors. And we're used to them having henchmen going after the women, throwing slime, muddying people up. But this is an all-new technique the left is using, and it happens to be in the Harvey Weinstein case, and that's what Ronan was writing about this week, Harvey Weinstein spies, he calls it. It's just shocking what these there appears to be behavior that could well be illegal, but it's absolutely disgusting sending spies to lie about their names and identities and who they are with fake foundations to the rape accusers against Weinstein, befriend them, hang out with them, go to dinner with them, pretend to be a big women's rights advocate, all while tape recording them and trying to find out. In the actress Rose McGowan's case, she was writing a book about being, among other things, raped by Harvey Weinstein, to try to get a copy of the book, weasel it out of the hands of this actress. But I thought the most interesting thing, at least in terms of larger political issues rather than just how slimy Democrats are, is that the spies were not hired by Weinstein himself. Oh, no. They were hired by, Conscience of a Nation, David Boies, Al Gore's attorney, the one who fought Proposition 8 in California, and by the one who represented Jeffrey Epstein, the procurer of underage girls for the Democratic Party in Palm Beach. David Boies hires the spies, or the spying agency, and then the spying agency does this disgusting, disreputable, absolutely immoral behavior. What struck me about that is that's exactly how the Democrats and the Hillary Clinton campaign paid for the Russian dossier, which was gossip from Russian officials. They go crazy over that Don Jr. thing. Yep. Some woman was trying to get a meeting with Don Jr., and I don't know about you. People do this to me all the time. They pretend they want to meet with you about one thing that you might be interested in. You sit down and, oh no, it has nothing to do with that. They're asking you to do something for them. They have nothing for you. And that's how this Russian woman came to meet Don Jr. He didn't request it. He wasn't seeking this. He didn't contact the Russians. He didn't get anything from the Russians. The Democrats together, the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign, paid more than $12 million to a law firm, which hired Fusion GPS, which hired Michael Steele, and Michael Steele used money to pay officials with the Russian government. That's how we got the Russian dossier. It's the exact same thing of using a law firm as the cutout. And as I say in the column, What's the advantage here? Well, one kind of leaps right out at me, and that is the famed, the sacred attorney-client privilege. Any communication between a lawyer and his client is privileged. It is held apart from the prying eye of the law, because the idea is to give clients proper representation. We need them to be totally honest, tell us the truth, the whole truth, everything they can tell us, and don't worry, we won't be required. In fact, we can be prevented from telling anyone else. It isn't to hide sleazy liberal behavior.
Well, and by the way, Ann, you're an attorney. Let me ask you, I'm a non-attorney, so let me ask you a question. You have the right to have attorney-client privilege, but if I go to my attorney and say, I want to do something illegal, for instance, I want to defraud.
You can't do that.
No, but isn't that what they do? If a young lady goes off to Rose McGowan and sits down to befriends her and tries to trick her, as in defrauding her, into giving a copy of the book, that is a crime. And if the attorney has involved himself in helping to hire people to commit crimes, that's not protected, is it?
No, it is not. What they would do here, I mean, it's amazing. The Democrats have turned the attorney-client privilege into, it's like a RICO violation. It's like listening to mobsters, order a hit over the telephone. Now, don't do anything illegal. And so in this New Yorker article, I found it, in fact, I originally put it in my column, but it's already sort of complicated to describe what has many similarities to a criminal conspiracy. The whole purpose is to make it complicated, to stay one step ahead of the law. But David Boies, the august attorney, made a point of telling Ronan Farrow, well, it says right here in black and white in the contract with the Israel spy agency that they are not to do anything illegal.
Oh.
Now, I don't think that means anything more than it does when you hear some mafioso on the phone saying, take care of Vinny. And don't do anything illegal.
Well, or they almost use the reverse logic of saying, if the mob boss tells you, make sure nothing happens to Ann Coulter. Right. You want to make sure that nothing like for her to step off a subway platform in front of a train, make sure that doesn't happen. And then next week, Ann Coulter ends up, God forbid, in front of a train. And you say, but they said specifically not to let her fall in front of the train. It was almost like Jack Nicholson not ordering the code red in A Few Good Men. It's like, don't do that. But Ann, I want to see these. I mean, Perkins Coie really deserves to be examined closely as a law firm if they were involved in helping to create phony documents to try to sway the outcome of an election, which was clearly the intent of Hillary Clinton and company. You're absolutely right. You got to read her column. It's online. You'll find it at AnnCoulter.com and other places. Ann, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program, and thanks so much for taking the time tonight.
Good to talk to you, Lars. Bye-bye.
Nice to talk to you as well. Ann Coulter with us.